Hello everyone and welcome to another voiceover of my mythic pug life. Now this time around it's 13 SOB. Now as you can see, I immediately put the caster on the right into my focus. I kind of got stuck into the texture there. I feel like a noob now watching it. But all's good, that's good. Now we don't have a DK to grip the caster there, so we have to make sure that we are kicking it so that it comes closer to the rest of the pack, so we can you know cleave it down from the enforcer. Now don't be afraid, like I always say, to use your rotational CDs. I kind of failed here. Should have used like HTT you know during the pull instead of trying to heal everyone manually. That would also let me do more DPS, and more DPS, you know, saves you some time. So that's always good. Now on this pull we lost it. Some people lost the pull under the stairs, but spoiler alert, we are skipping that, and I definitely recommend skipping that pack. So we are lasting here. Always put the caster into focus so that you can kick. I did kick here, but like 1 millisecond later, so not only I do not have the kick anymore, but I also let the cast go through, which is not good. Not good. You could say that sometimes kicks, or almost every time, the kicks are more HPS than actual healing, because you know, if you stop the cast it will do no damage, so there's nothing for you to heal. Now on this pull, depending on when the tank actually chains the raider in, you might want to sit on your SLT in case you get the overlap with the scream and the pull in, because it will one-shot everyone if you get the overlap there, right? I could have used SLT either way, even if we didn't get the overlap there. Once again, a rotational CD that would let me, instead of, you know, spamming my other heals, let me keep on doing damage, and pretty much make everyone feel safe, because yeah, SLT is just so OP, especially with the spouting spirits. It would have just kept everyone at full HP there. As always, like I said, put the caster into focus. I do have it on my keybind actually. When I mouse over a mob and I press the Alt and my mouse wheel, it will put them in focus. So I definitely recommend you making macro like that to put stuff into focus, because yeah, like right clicking the nameplate and then use like set focus, that's really not an option, especially in higher keys. Like during the time someone will probably die. So yeah, like the reason we skipped the pack previously is this shredder that you can see here. They hurt a lot, and if you don't CC them well, if you don't lose lost there, then there is actually a really high possibility someone's gonna die. So definitely a pack I recommend skipping if you have a rogue. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind invis-potting it either. Like I think it's still a good pot there if you didn't pot on the pull. So there's also an option if you agree on it before the key starts. Now on this boss, nothing is happening really. It's kind of like just a hit and run kind of boss. You know, so pretty much the only thing that you have to do is to play the bombs. You need to pull the boss into the bombs, and you need to make sure that no bomb explodes. So if you can see that the boss is not gonna reach the bombs before they explode, just have your tank or someone like a paladin, for example, with bubble or, you know, strong defensive, take the bomb, otherwise it's gonna wipe you. And that's pretty much it. Then you have some like random damage from the ads that the boss spawns, so like CC them whenever you can, you know, and heal the people that are getting hit. Especially, you know, sometimes there can be like a nasty overlap with the pull in and the mob, you know, using like the arrow shot or whatever on someone. So make sure to press something immediately after the pull in. Like I definitely, once again, could have used some rotational CDs there. Definitely a mistake on my part. Now I think this run was kinda messy, but still pretty chill, and it's like a good run, good video in my opinion, to show you why it's really important to record your videos, like your playthroughs. Like if you can do that, you know, you don't have to release it obviously, but I think for any game, you know, whether it's World of Warcraft, League of Legends or whatever, if you make a record of your playthroughs, that's where you can really see the mistakes and play better, because especially in World of Warcraft there's a lot of stuff happening, right? Especially for beginners, like a lot of the people that I know don't even want to try playing World of Warcraft because they consider it overcomplicated, and I can totally see that. Right, so making like VODs of your playthroughs so that you can get better is like my #1 recommendation. I think that's like the best thing you can do to improve in the game, so you can actually like see everything, you know, while you are not panicking or whatever. Now here, I should have used SLT on the Paladin like immediately so that he doesn't die, because it's kinda make us lose a lot of time. He also didn't pop a defensive, which I saw him, you know, have, so I didn't focus, you know, that much on him. I was like, it's a Paladin, he has a defensive, he's gonna survive. He popped it late, and then I didn't pop SLT at all, right? So I would say here I should not have like waited for you know, or like expected the Paladin to pop the defensives before the charge happens. I should have just used SLT, you know. If you're playing in puck, no comms, like sure, like expect everyone of course to, you know, do their best, but if you can save it yourself, if you can be the one like, okay, I'm not risking it that this is gonna happen, you know, like the perfect scenario, just pop it, just pop it, and try to save some pulls. I definitely could have saved it there. As you can see, the tank is getting curses here. It's from the curse blades, so don't forget to get your utility, your curse dispel. If you're playing in a team and you have other classes with Curse Dispel, sure, you can like ask your mates to take it instead, so that you can get some other talents that might be a little bit more beneficial for, let's say, your own survivability or a little bit more HPS, right? But in a puck, you know, always have everything, even though, you know, there are people who can do the same thing. Just yeah. Unless it would cost you something like super crucial, which it doesn't in this case, then always take it. Yeah. Here I use the SLT kind of like badly. I use it badly for sure. I should have used it now when the tank gets all the curse blades, because as you can see, the second his shockwave ended, he died, right? I think he should have ran away. Like once he got enough aggro, he should have just go away, because they don't do any damage if they don't get close to you, right? But instead he got one-shotted. Once again, if I used SLT better, you know, or if I went like closer to use my CCs better, then I could have prevented it myself again, you know. Well, yeah, that was an insane, like absolutely insane one-shot. Kush also got one-shotted. I mean, maybe you already noticed, is this kind of cheating? We have Kush from Echo in our party and he died on pull there. Like he immediately got the cast from the caster, obviously. Haha. And I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there yet to kick it or help in any way. So before I even got into the pack, he was pretty much dead. Yeah, once again, put the caster into focus so that you can kick the cast. When you get targeted by the charge, always use a defensive, especially like if you use the wall. Very often if you get like a mechanic and you have wall up, you don't have to heal yourself at all, and yeah, I often just like ignore the healing and just keep on doing damage again. Like, it's not as important to do damage as a healer these days as it was in like during Shadowlands, right? Where you literally needed to do so much damage, otherwise you had no chance of timing it. But still, you doing damage can be the, I don't know, 10-15 seconds that cost you the key. You should always do damage whenever possible. Whenever possible, you should try to do damage, because the difference between like, I don't know, 150k DPS and 350k DPS or something, that's massive. That's like massive, you know. You might not realize it, but it is. So like, if you're a beginner, try to do damage. You will fail some keys, definitely, because you choose to do damage at the wrong time. But the sooner you learn, the sooner you start with doing damage, the better. Because you have to do it. Eventually, the higher the key, you know, the more you have to do it. Otherwise, yeah, you will maybe not time it by a few seconds. Here, as you can see, I immediately pop SLT on the first Fairy Ricochet. It pretty much healed everyone to full. We did play this a little bit messy, like preferably here everybody should be stacked on the tank and you all go like clockwise, so that you don't like lock anyone out of the range of your SLT or other abilities, or not kill the tank by like running over him. So we definitely should have played this better, and I think we play this like kind of panicky every single time we get it. So that's definitely something to improve on. I usually just like run away. I don't want to risk, you know, killing the tank by moving a little bit too fast, or simply moving in a bad way, right? So again, pretty much the only time where you need to poop. I don't want to know when you need to poop, and I'm not gonna. Sorry about that. The only time where you need to pop your rotational CDs is on the Fairy Ricochet. Everything else you can pretty much heal with just your healing stream totem, right? So don't be afraid to use your CDs there. Here I usually like insta Kappa Totem on these mobs, you know, so that they don't like run left and right, and so that the deckhands do literally nothing, and I don't have to worry about them putting like the bleeds on the tank, and we just focus the cannoneer for the gun. You know, take it as fast as possible. It literally doesn't matter who take it. Sometimes, at least like on lower keys, I saw like people like waiting for others to pick it up, like it was meant to be picked up by like some kind of role, you know, like that a tank should do it or whatever. That's definitely not the case. Whoever's the closest, just take it and shoot. Just take it and shoot. Yeah. See? Like everybody else, apart from myself, is trying to go with the tank, so that everyone is stacked. And that's how you should play it. That is how you should play it, so that everybody is in your defensives and no one kills anyone with you know, wrong movement, wrong positioning. Here, I'm always kind of scared, so like my recommendation is to wait. Like, just don't expect the tank to pop it before the shooting happens, right? Like, just don't risk it. I've seen so many deaths there, even though the tank already hit it, you know, and you know, kind of like canceled it. It kept shooting, killed a lot of people. So yeah, just play it safe. Here you can see the tank positioned the demolisher really well so that we can LOS, but no one's really doing it. I think just me, maybe the evoker did it as well. But yeah, like that's the best thing you can do. Just you know, if your tank positions the demolisher in a way that you can LOS, then please just do it, because then there's literally no damage. Like literally none of it, and you don't risk overlaps with some casts from the small mobs killing you, you know. This tank is playing it really well. Again, taking the demolisher to the side of the building so that everyone can like cast and do damage till the last millisecond before LOSing. Like if the evoker didn't LOS here, he would have died. So definitely a good play from him. On these Tempest guys, make sure to kick the choking, because that's a pretty long silence. And if your healer gets it, it can be, you know, key over, especially if you're like bad on time. And if people don't use their defenses well there, or don't have them available at all. Right, so that's like the focus, a focus kick that you always have to do. See, I again have it in focus. I kick it without even targeting it. I see the cast in the middle of my screen. You can see the water bolt there. So having a weak aura like that is definitely good, because you can focus on like the prio mob. You can focus on healing people, and then you just see like your weak aura. You know, like for example, I think Caucus is the weak aura called. If you look up like dungeon weak auras for this season, it's literally the most downloaded one. That's the one with like the voice cues, the sound cues for where you need to kick and what's happening. So I definitely recommend getting a weak aura like that, because that, like, anything you can do that will release some computational power from your brain, you know, so that you can focus on other stuff is good, right? I mean, there are people who are so extremely skilled in the game that they could just play with the base UI and still do all of this, because they can like watch the way, you know, the mobs move and everything, and then they know all the spells by names. But yeah, I think for most people, the best thing you can do is to super optimize your UI, get like a really good UI. I can really recommend Now UI. That's what I am using. I just really modified it to my own. I changed the main bars, I added weak auras, deleted weak auras, added some conditions, etc. And I would love to share it with you, but unfortunately I can't, because yeah, that would be kind of like copyright and stealing the work of other people, which I definitely don't plan on doing. But if you get Now UI and you're playing Resto Shaman, I'm more than happy to share my profiles with you and my customized weak auras with you. But it's locked behind a sub that, yeah, I don't know how much it costs, whether it's like $10 or something like that a month. So yeah, but you can customize a lot of these things with also like Luxos weak auras, Afener weak auras, and I feel like a lot of the stuff in Now UI is also like based on the weak auras, like the dungeon one that I talked about. I think it's like literally there with just like different fonts and placements to fit this particular UI. So if you don't want to pay, there are definitely options to get the functionality of this UI as well. But yeah, if you have Now UI, I can and I will be more than happy to share my modified version with you. As you can see, we did another skip. We skipped the spotter there. I feel like that's pretty much the standard, like what we are doing right now, that's pretty much the standard road that you're doing if you have a rogue. And even if you don't, like I said, a lot of people are just using their invis spots, both at the beginning and right now. But if you can get a rogue, that's much better, because then you can use your DPS potions, right? And they are very valuable. They increase the DPS a lot. So if you can get away, you know, by playing rogue and just, you know, using your DPS spots, then good. I don't want to, it's like not me trying to tell you, you know, if you're pugging, just take a rogue and ignore everyone else. That's kind of not the point. But yeah, if there's a good rogue, just take him. It's very beneficial. It's very beneficial for this dungeon, and well, a lot of other dungeons as well, because the higher you go, the more advanced the road becomes and the more skips it has. You know, so yeah, rogue gets more and more value. Plus, they deal insane amounts of damage. They have good stops. They have insane control through vanish and garrote for silences, etc. So that's like monster good class, like monster good class. Now, as you can see, we are already at 100%. We did ignore the pack that's like in the corner, right? And once again, I think this is pretty standard. A lot of people doing it. Just make sure you don't pull that pack, or just play it. It doesn't take that much time. Like if your timer is really good, you can just play it to make sure no one messes it up, because we played it on the 14. We had insane timer, we had insane damage and everything. It was like 10 out of 10 we're gonna time it, and then someone pulled the pack when this boss was almost dead and it was end of the key. So yeah, that can happen, and it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad when that happens. So if you have a good timer and you want to avoid that, then yeah, just play the pack. I am a little bit afraid of the paladin there. He, like, you know, started getting quite close to the pack. I think he was really close actually to pulling it, but at the same time, you want to be playing away from the pillar before this mechanic, otherwise you will have the ground effect there. You don't want to have the ground effect next to the pillar, because that's where you are standing, that's where you are running. So always, you know, stand like away from the pillar before the AoE mechanic happens, so that you give yourself enough space to be able to hug the pillar without standing in it. So far we are pretty lucky. As you can see, I immediately go almost all the way to the wall. That's what you should do, right? Everybody else who remained at the pillar, that's like what you should avoid, okay? I mean, I'm not saying that if you have it there, you cannot play around it, or that it's gonna, you know, demote your key. But if you can help it, if you can make stuff easier, then do make it easier. The sooner you learn, the better, right? We are actually getting pretty good dodges here, like nothing too crazy, and no crazy overlaps with like this frontal, for example. So that's pretty good. As you can see, immediately I go away, so that it is not there next to the pillar, and it doesn't cost you anything, because like if you're behind the texture of the pillar, like you can stand wherever you want. If I could go all the way to the next boss, I would not get damage. As long as I'm in the line of the pillar, you will not get damage. So there's like no point, apart from the side with the pack, to not reposition to make the run easier. Once again, when healing, trying to pop my Surging Totem into Healing Stream Totem so that people get Earth Surge for 15% more healing. And then I also pop my Downpour. Now, with the Downpour, you kind of have to decide for yourself. If it's like a one-shot mechanic, you should use it before the mechanic happens, so that everybody has 10% increased life, because it's not gonna, like, when it increases the life, it's not gonna heal the life, right? There is some healing component to it that you can use, and definitely, like, when you have your Earth Surge up from the Earth mode of your totem, you know, it will do some nice healing. But the 10% increase, it's not gonna heal and also, like, increase the HP by 10%. It's just, like, gonna increase the maximum HP, right, by 10%. So you have to think for yourself, do I want to use it to prevent a one-shot, something that will, you know, kill people who maybe don't have a defensive up yet from 100 to 0, or do I want to use it as a heal? Here I kinda try to usually delay the dispel like a second, you know, so that you give people room to move away, right? When you have the overlap immediately with the AoE, of course, either if you have like your high tide ready, you heal people back up with your healing stream totems, because not only the healing stream totem heals a lot, but you will also you know, send out extremely powerful chain heal. Again, waited a little bit before dispelling so that we get away from each other. Definitely could have used wall here, so that I can, you know, focus on other stuff than just, you know, kind of like spam healing myself. So try to not sit on your defensives. The like melees, of course, should also position themselves in a way that you can dispel them as fast as possible, so they don't get the overlap, right? They should not be hugging each other and then you waiting 3 seconds for them to panic run away. So kind of like try to position yourself in a way that yeah, there's a lot of free room. Yeah. Could pretty much insta-dispel myself here because I needed almost like no movement to get away from people, because we were already all positioned in a way that it will not hit anyone. And yeah, like if you're really good at watching this mechanic, you already know who's gonna get it, because it's already targeting people when it's in the air, right? So you can, like, we don't have many externals, well, we don't have any apart from SLT, really, but if you're like a DPS or someone with externals, then like learning to like pay attention to it can once again like save a lot of keys, you know, a lot of wipes. If you just pre-use a defensive, if you pre-use an external for someone who maybe doesn't have any defensive up or is low on HP. See, I know that Evoker is getting it and that the Paladin was getting it. It was already aimed at them. They also have the weak auras calling out that they are getting it. Here you can see me always waiting in the back. Because I don't want anyone to like stay behind and die to getting the damage over time effect. So you should definitely not just immediately rush forward. I see that happen a lot, where people just rush forward, or they get the damage over time effect and they don't respect the healer staying like somewhere in the middle to be able to heal everyone, and then they just sprint to the last platform here and they die because you cannot reach them to heal them or to dispel them. Unfortunately, didn't finish the cast here. Didn't really have anything ready. Should have probably used Ascendance. Could have saved the Paladin with the heal itself when you press it, and with the increased healing from like Riptide or anything. This was actually funny. I thought the Paladin immediately starts laughing. He's like, ape. I thought that he's in the middle of the circles, but I guess he wasn't. But yeah, like we are timing this. We are timing this no matter what. We also get a CR, but I don't think we even use it. We just finish the key and be done with it. Yeah, but like on this tentacle, like the mistake, well, I could have waited maybe a little bit more, like half a second, you know, so that he can position a little bit better to make really sure he was like between everything. But the main mistake there was that the melees were all on the right side. There was like the tank in the middle, and then they were on the right side. You should take like the tank in the middle, and then if you have two melees, there should be, you know, left and right. Other way around. Either way, I hope you liked the video. I hope it gave you some insight on Shaman healing again, and you know, that it was simply fun to watch. And I hope that even some like further videos of mine will help you get better in the game, as well as help myself when watching my own mistakes. So thanks for watching.